What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and today what I have for you guys is yet another Call of Duty 2020 banger. We have specific map descriptions, weapons, kill streaks, all of that good stuff. Quite a bit to go into, so definitely stay tuned throughout the entire video. Also, as a reminder, beanie hats are now available on my website for just $14.99, along with my other t-shirt designs as well. And I do have new zombies designs coming to the site very soon. Be on the lookout for an official announcement when that, of course, happens. But late last night, I uploaded an emergency upload going over the leaked alpha Call of Duty 2020 gameplay, and there was quite a bit to discuss with that as well. And I was planning on making this video today anyway, and it's separate from the information we saw late last night. But going into 5 weapons that will be featured in Call of Duty 2020 as of right now, these include the following: the Daewoo K2. So this weapon was apparently the same rifle we saw last night in the leaked gameplay, and I can't confirm or deny that since the gameplay was pretty blurry, but apparently that was the exact weapon. We have the 1911 pistol, the classic from the Black Ops franchise. Not surprised that this is returning. We also saw it in World War II a couple of years ago. We have the M16 assault rifle, so this has also been in just about every Black Ops game now as well. Not surprised. We have the Colt revolver. We've seen many iterations of the revolver in a lot of previous Call of Duty releases. And we then have some type of AK. So right now, the internal name for it is AR_7_full. And we've seen the AK in just about almost every Call of Duty up to this point too, so really not surprised about that one. Now, when it comes to kill streaks and map descriptions, this is where things get really exciting now. So, as of right now, in terms of multiplayer as a whole, there is no automatic health regen, but that is very subject to change, right? I'm not sure if they want to play with the stim shots again, like they did with Black Ops 4 and Modern Warfare. And for kill streaks, we have UAV and counter UAV, thanks to the classic minimap being in the current build of the game. We have a bomber plane that can take out other kill streaks, dogs, RCXD, chopper gunner, napalm strikes, and an artillery strike. Now, what's funny about this information is that we actually heard just about the same stuff, I want to say a good 4 or so months ago, when TGR and I uploaded separate multiplayer detailed videos about Call of Duty 2020, everything we had known so far up until that point, based on some of the earliest builds of the game. So the fact that the information is lighting up is very good news. Now, when it comes to ground war, we did hear that it is returning, and we'll have 5 flags. So it seems like ground war will be on the same scale as the ground war we have in Modern Warfare. I've already gave my opinion on that, and very quickly to sum it up, I'm not really a big fan of it in Modern Warfare, so I hope it plays a little bit better in Call of Duty 2020 if it sees the light of day and if the mode does end up releasing when the game launches. And we also have a huge ice map with snowmobiles and tanks and some type of features in a frozen forest. Not sure if it's the frozen forest, but we will see a frozen forest of some sort in this map, a frozen ice lake with bunkers, a train. This could possibly be in Vietnam, and there will be an earnable flamethrower. So we have a big ass map with ice, snowmobiles, all that good stuff. That's just one map right there that will be for ground war presumably. And what's funny is that the map last night that we saw in the early alpha gameplay is apparently called Tanks. So a bit of a weird name for a map. I'm sure it's a placeholder, but yes, Tanks will be obviously playing a big role in this Call of Duty. So more information here. Most maps are 3-lane with the classic Treyarch fashion, and not like the cluttered and confusing layouts we see with Modern Warfare. We then have a 6v6 map that was described. It is a warehouse with a massive open field with nowhere to hide and a sniper town to pick off those running through the open field, and it also contains a river on one of the flanks. So at least we're hearing about 6v6 maps, because 6v6 maps are honestly a joke in Modern Warfare this year. So glad to see that they're going to be going back to that classic Treyarch fashion we all know and love. We also then have a cluttered Russian city, which is filled with cars, and it's currently huge and could either get shrunk down into a 6v6 or it could just be a big ground war map. It may be set to a higher player count, and it's literally the exact same thing that happened with Anaya Palace, hope I said that right, the map from Modern Warfare, which is essentially a ground war map that was then broken down into smaller sections for both gunfight and 6v6. So it seems like, as I said before, they're going to be going with the same Modern Warfare structure, where they can take big-ass maps and break them down for other purposes, and even more than that, as we've talked about before. So obviously on top of that, we know, besides the tank map last night, we've heard that Nuketown Firing Range, Summit Jungle, the Russian City, and the Warehouse have been featured in the early builds for the game. So that's 7 maps total that we know of in this game, and we also have talks of skill-based matchmaking, which is very unfortunate, but as I said before, like with Modern Warfare, whatever is working around the gaming industry, whether it's for Fortnite, for Apex, all of that will be included in future Call of Duty releases. So skill-based matchmaking, that free-to-play model, battle pass systems, all of that will be continued for every Call of Duty release. Now, a good theory that a few buddies of mine and myself agreed on last night is that maybe Treyarch was working on a futuristic game of some sort and had to combine that with the past setting that Sledgehammer and Raven were playing around with for Call of Duty 2020, because Treyarch would have been releasing a game in 2021 instead, and it may have been a sequel to either Black Ops 3 or 4, because the gameplay last night looked a little futuristic, right? It had a few vibes of futuristic gameplay, even though you could tell the map itself took place in the past. So maybe they're just combining two different ideas and making it work, which explains the rumor that we just heard that the game takes place in the future, apparently in like 2025 or above, and a lot of events are being told in flashback form. Even though a majority of the game takes place in the Cold War with Vietnam, it will be told during flashback form, apparently. So that's interesting, and it changes the scape of this entire rumor altogether about how this game is going to work. So with that being said, we have new leaks from Victor that I haven't gone over yet, which I find really damn interesting. He doesn't tweet very often, but when he does, it's always some really interesting information. So first off, he had confirmed that it's going to be their own engine, not Infinity Ward's, and what he means is Treyarch's own engine. But what's weird is that from verified insiders, we've heard that it's the same engine as Modern Warfare, but that's subject to change. We're not sure whose information is outdated or not, but if I had to take a guess, maybe it is a version of Infinity Ward's engine, but with Treyarch's twist on it, to where things may feel a little bit different. But also, based on other rumors, we know that consistency is something that Activision wants to keep throughout the Call of Duty franchise going forward, and what that means is that games will probably feel more like the same, taking place in the same universe, rather than having two distinct engines and two distinct feeling games, which, in terms of how I feel about that, I think is fine to establish continuity if Black Ops and Modern Warfare now take place in the same universe. So we'll see how that works out. He also mentioned that this account will not tell me about the new work of COD in the future. As a Chinese, I was a little disappointed to see the content of the COD 2020 campaign. The multiplayer is played the same as Modern Warfare. So first off here, I think with the first sentence, he means that he may not be tweeting anymore after a certain point. So he's not going to be either working there and telling us info, or just telling us info at all. I'm not sure what that means. Again, the English translation from Google isn't the best. And he did say he's disappointed with the content of the COD 2020 campaign. So I'm not sure what that could mean either, whether it's lack of missions, lack of good gameplay, lack of a good story, who knows. And then the multiplayer is played the same as Modern Warfare. We've been saying that for a long time now as well, and it goes back to what I said, that I think consistency and continuity will be a big thing going forward, to where games from different developers will still feel the same, because maybe they take place in the same universe now. So we'll see what that means in time. And somebody also asked him, so how's the quality of the new work? Is it better than 16, or is it a return to the Black Ops cartoon style? And I don't really know what he means by 16. All I can think of is Black Ops 3 that was, active during 2016. I'm not sure what that means, but he then said nothing changed. So if nothing changed, then maybe that means the style will look very similar to both Black Ops 3 and 4, but if it's like Modern Warfare with the multiplayer and a similar engine, I'm sure it'll look a little cleaner and a little more realistic. So we'll have to see what that means in time as well. But one of the biggest things he said was Modern Warfare 2.0, and that's a given, isn't it? Considering Warzone will somehow be integrated into the Call of Duty 2020 main menu. So how different can Call of Duty 2020 possibly be? They wouldn't want the base game to feel drastically different from the Battle Royale, and it's a Battle Royale that we're assuming will get a Treyarch style update, whether it's with a new map or a new pool of weapons. They'll give it that Treyarch feel. We'll have to see how that's handled, but continuity and consistency are really big terms going forward for the Call of Duty franchise, and whether that opens the door for a big crossover between Black Ops and Modern Warfare, we'll just have to wait and see storyline wise, but at least gameplay wise, there will be a lot of similarities with these two franchises, or I should say these two sub-series going into the future. But Long Sensation also put his 2 cents in on this, and again, he goes by Tom Henderson on Twitter now since his main account got suspended. He quote tweeted one of his old tweets from May where he was talking about how Warzone will be somehow integrated into Treyarch's next game. He quote tweeted it and said, "This probably makes a lot more sense now that we've seen the footage. This is a big reason why Modern Warfare and COD 2020 look so similar." And yeah, you know, how different could the games be now, right? If Warzone's that bridge to the gap between the two series, how different can they really make a Treyarch game or an Infinity Ward game if Warzone's going to be there to support both of them? Let me know what you think of this down below in the comment section. This has been dkdynamite. What do you think about the weapons, map descriptions, kill streaks, and what do you think about the new leaks that say that the game will essentially be, you know, a continuation of Modern Warfare in a way? It'll essentially be a similar feeling game with almost a fresh coat of paint. That's pretty much what we could say about it at the moment. But that is about it, and peace out, everyone.